Hello again, Natchitoches. This is Joe. Joining me and Glenn in the studio is U.S. Senator David Vitter, who joined us live in the studio this morning. Now, one thing that you mentioned, and I find this a fascinating concept, the idea of a constitutional amendment that would mandate the government to have a balanced budget.
Yeah.
What would be the penalty for breaking that amendment, for not following the law?
Well, the repercussion would be that people could sue over the budget, bring it to court, and the court could say, no, you're not following the rule. We have this constitutional amendment, you're not following the rule, and would make it invalid and make Congress go back to the drawing board. So that would be the legal enforcement.
But would that open up the let's balance it by increasing taxes type theory?
Well, there's explicit language in the amendment that the court could not impose that. Court can't do that on its own. Now, Congress, ultimately can do whatever will pass Congress and get the president's signature. I don't think our problem is that we're undertaxed. But obviously, if we're trying to balance the budget, some liberals are going to push higher taxes, just like I'm pushing getting spending under control. But spending right now is over 25% of GDP. That's an all-time high. The average is more like 20% or less. That's an all-time high.
Senator, for a simple mind like mine, tell me why it's not. I'm looking at 2009 budget. We spent, I'm going to throw a simple figure in, $3 trillion. I'm just making it simple. I know it was more than that. If we're trying to spend $3.5 trillion this year, then we're spending more money than we spent last year, but we're making less. To me, it's a simple thing. If you're going to balance the budget, quit spending. I know the budget includes increases in almost every department for inflation or whatever and all that, and if you cut that, they call that a cut in the budget. Well, it's not a cut in the budget. It's just not an increase in the budget.
Right.
Do y'all really break it down and look at all these different line-by-line items?
Absolutely. The House just got finished doing that, and when they passed their proposal, it was line by line, and they considered literally hundreds of amendments that went into the weeds that way, and we need to do the same thing in the Senate.
Now, again, you're in the minority, and one of the other focuses is the health care overhaul. As a Senate, how do you guys plan to address this?
Well, I supported the House effort to completely repeal Obamacare and then come back with targeted reforms. As you know, that passed the House in January. Unfortunately, it did not pass the Senate. It was defeated 51 to 47 on a pure party line vote in the Senate. So for now, and I think we'll get there, but for now, we're not able to pass that repeal in the Senate. I do think we'll get there over time. The second thing we're trying to do is to defund Obamacare. And again, the funding plan that the House passed does that in major ways, and I would support the same thing. The third thing that is going on, which is not in Congress, but outside of Congress, as you know, there's a very serious, very credible legal constitutional challenge to the law. And that is working its way up the courts. And I would predict that it'll go all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court and ultimately be decided there.
And we've discussed total repeal. Is there any way that you guys can see to take it apart piece by piece and work on it that way? We've had Representative John Fleming on here, and he has said that it just looks to be impossible to take it apart piece by piece. Do you guys in the Senate feel the same way?
I feel the same way because to me, and I think to most Americans, what's wrong with the bill is not this little detail or that little paragraph. It is elements that go to the heart of the bill. For instance, at the heart of the bill is a mandate, which I think is unconstitutional, for every American to be forced to buy an insurance product. I think that is unconstitutional. That is not a minor provision in the bill. That's at the heart of the bill. At the heart of the bill is a $500 billion cut to Medicare for seniors. That's at the heart of the bill. At the heart of the bill are increases in insurance premiums and mandates that will lead to higher costs. At the heart of the bill are significant tax increases. So all of these things that I have the biggest problem with are not minor details. They go to the heart of the bill.
I want to talk about a taboo thing called Social Security for just a minute. I'm on the verge. I'm 63. I'll be 64 next month. All the talk about Social Security is attacking the retirement age and retirement phase. There's so much more to Social Security than just the retirement. I have not heard anybody talking about SSI.
Yep.
And I don't know the percentages of how much it goes to the retirement people and how much doesn't. But, even someone my age can understand. Hopefully, my father died at 54. I'm 64 and healthy as a horse. I think I've got 20 years left in me. So y'all are going to pay me Social Security for a long time. And it's changed since it was back in the early 60s when the life expectancy was 58 or so on, or 68, whatever it was. People are living a long time. We have to look at all of it, retirement, but not just retirement. I mean,
absolutely. Well, I think it was a big mistake decades ago when the retirement system was merged with SSI and what are really traditional welfare programs.
Right.
And I think merging the two and muddying the two was a big mistake. But it's done. But certainly you're right. When we look at savings and reforms for Social Security, we need to look at that side of the house as well.